DC hasn't exactly had the best time at the cinemas over the last few years. But one film that pretty much everyone can agree was awesome was the Wonder Woman solo film. The movie managed to take an iconic character, one who for some reason hadn't yet had a big screen outing, and did her some real justice. And now we have the first official trailer for the sequel, Wonder Woman 1984. And boy howdy, does it look awesome. So you know the drill by now, we're gonna break the trailer down and take a look at what the film has to offer, including the appearance of new villains and the resurrection of one Steve Trevor, somehow. Still not sure how that works, but hey, Chris Pine is here, so you don't hear us complaining. Let's get right to it.
That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
The trailer opens with some shots of Diana's really nice looking apartment. All the while a voiceover from the character talks about how her life has gone. We get a good look at the watch Steve Trevor gave to her at the end of the first film, sitting in front of a black and white picture of her at some kind of ranch. Turns out this voiceover is from a moment when Diana is talking with Barbara Minerva, as portrayed by Kristen Wiig. This character is one that, by the end of the film, will become Cheetah, a famous villain of Wonder Woman's from the comics. This scene with the two discussing their love lives over a drink seems to suggest the two are friendly with each other, seeming to mirror Greg Rucka's recent comic book run, which introduced the idea that Cheetah was originally good friends with Diana before she became the animal-powered supervillain. It's a bit more tragic of an origin for the character. This scene also lets us know that, once again, this film is going to deal with Diana and her feelings of loss over the death of Steve Trevor, which we then see in a rather shoddily photoshopped looking news clipping. Maybe take some time to fix that up, guys. There's some 80s-tastic Warner Bros. And DC logos, then a shot of some kind of party, with the bolded numbers 1984 appearing in front of it, letting us know what year the film takes place in, as if the film's title didn't already tip you off. Diana is seen entering the party, rocking some very 80s-esque hair and shoulder pads that would make a lineman jealous. Then we get a shot of one of the most quintessential 80s things ever, a super busy shopping mall. This is where we are introduced to Pedro Pascal's character. This time he's traded in his Beskar steel for a swanky suit, as he is taking on the role of Maxwell Lord, a shrewd businessman and antagonist to superheroes everywhere, who you might recognize from the earlier seasons of Supergirl. There is some stuff going down in the mall, showing us our first shots of Diana in action, as Lord continues to talk about how you can get whatever you want as long as you want it bad enough. Wonder Woman crushes some guns, which is straight up impressive, then throws her tiara and breaks a security camera. Now, she could do this for a couple of reasons. First, in Justice League, it was established that Diana doesn't really want to do much of this superhero stuff, preferring to hide from the public eye. So maybe she is destroying the cameras here so that there is no video evidence of her kicking some bad guy butt. Or maybe we can look to the comics for answers. In what might be the most famous story arc that the character was involved in, Maxwell Lord was responsible for some very Orwellian actions, including the mass production and implementation of surveillance equipment, which might just be part of the plot here. Would especially make sense given the film's title, with the year there not only referencing when it takes place, but George Orwell's book 1984 as well. Lord continues his voiceover by saying the line, "Think about finally having everything you've always wanted," as a shot of Diana looking up at a plane flying overhead is shown, and Barbara is seen working in a lab of some kind. Symbolically, this is fairly on the nose, as these two are seeing what they want. Diana is looking at a plane, representing Steve Trevor, and Barbara is doing some sciencey stuff, which is probably what is going to lead to her gaining power and ultimately going off the deep end. Speaking of Steve Trevor, he is back. Somehow, the trailer doesn't really touch on how he's back at all, but we get a nice shot of him putting yet another watch in Diana's hand, this time a digital one, cause you know, 80s. We are then shown a massive satellite dish that might just be Brother Eye from the comics. Brother Eye is a massive surveillance installation created by Bruce Wayne in order to watch over the entire world. Here, it looks like it was created by Maxwell Lord, further lending to the idea that the film is about a surveillance state. Diana and Steve soon find themselves in the midst of some pretty serious looking stuff, including a shootout in what seems to be either a bank or an office building. Barbara shows up to a party, turning some heads on her own. Then we see Diana and Steve flying through some fireworks in a plane of some kind. Many people have speculated that Wonder Woman's famous invisible jet might be making an appearance in 1984, and this might just be our first glimpse of it. We see some crazy stuff happening, including a wall seemingly imploding, Wonder Woman kicking some more butt, and some shots of Amazonian women training in what has to be the craziest Ninja Warrior course in existence. Then we get to see what might be the coolest shot of the trailer, as Diana makes like Metallica and rides the lightning using her lasso. Then there is the debut of her Golden Eagle armor. This armor in the comics debuted in the Kingdom Come storyline, and is what the character wears when stuff really hits the fan. Usually when she has to battle on the front lines in a massive war, which kind of makes us think that some serious stuff is going to go down in 1984. What kind of stuff? Well, we really aren't too sure at this point. Luckily, we don't have to wait too long, as Wonder Woman 1984 hits theaters June 5th, 2020. And while we're all waiting, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button and the little bell thingy. It really helps us keep the lights on around here. Oh, and also be sure to turn on notifications if you're watching on mobile. You won't regret it. What did you think of the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984? Are you excited for the movie to finally come out? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And while you're down there, why not consider subscribing to Screen Rant for more awesome videos just like this? Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the movies.